It's time for me to really get more organized and focused with regard to my approach to the proper human diet and really the proper human lifestyle. I'm Texas Donna, and I'm a flawed carnivore using the carnivore diet to help me deal with menopause, carbohydrate addiction, weight management, overall health as I turn senior citizen age, double nickels, later this month. So it's really time to get focused. So thanks for tuning into my channel. Many of you know that I've been at this off and on, flawed, good, all of that for a couple of years now. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are not new to my channel, welcome back. Thanks for joining in this journey with me. I appreciate your comments. I read them. A lot of you have the same experience as me, the same mentality, the same struggles, and you let me know about that in the comments, and I really appreciate that. I have a couple of notes here, and my little note paper fell over, so let me look back to that. I am starting a new job in a week from tomorrow, and it's a part-time job. It's at my church. It's about 5 minutes from my house. It's all things that I do really well and like to do, so I'm really looking forward to it. But I'm going to have to be more organized. And to be honest, even if I weren't starting this part-time job, I would at least need to get more focused. I'm going to have to have a set time that I wake up every morning. I don't currently do that. I might stay up later than usual, and sleep is important, so I sleep until I feel rested and then I get up. But I'm going to have to be more mindful about my sleep hygiene and any number of other things. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some strategies that I'm going to implement, at least to get going with all of this. I do not expect all of these strategies to work all the time. In and of themselves, they're all great, but I am human. So I imagine some of these things will fall off my radar at some point, but we'll see. I'm going to at least give it a shot and see if I can at least get some momentum. Yesterday, I watched Kelly Hogan's most recent video, and she gave several tools in that video. I won't rehash it, but I will link the video in the description of this video. I encourage you to look at it. She's always such a great cheerleader for us. She always posts such great reminders about our brain chemistry, our habits. She's really gotten to be an expert at that kind of a thing, and I find her videos inspiring. Even if I've heard the content before, repackaged in other videos of hers, she always puts a fresh spin on it and a good reminder. And I think we can use frequent reminders, daily reminders, multiple times daily reminders sometimes, and that really helps. Some things spoke to me though, and I'll be getting to that. Also, I'm inspired by Larry and Cassie. Cassie started a new job recently, so fist bump, Cassie. I hope you're doing okay. See, these changes in our schedules, they can really challenge our commitment, especially because we have to plan. They do some things like remove us from frittering around the house and finding a little snacky poo, but they also mean that you have to meal plan. You have to plan when you're going to eat and what you're going to eat, and you have to plan for getting derailed. You've got to have systems in place to support the unexpected when your schedule is tighter, I'll have to say. Also, I've been enjoying the video updates from the channel called Delighted to Meet You. Is her name Jen? I think her name is Jen. I need to double check that. She's also quite upfront about her struggles when she gets renewed commitment, things that knock her kind of off the rails a little bit. And I resonate with a lot of things that she talks about, a lot of her experience. She's quite a bit younger than myself, but our experience are parallel in some way. And so I at least find camaraderie in her videos. And so I'll link to her most recent video update also in the description of this, but please do check it out. All right, let's get to what I've kind of sketched out for myself. And a lot of this has to do with morning routine. I know morning routine is affected by nighttime routine, but it all goes in a big cycle, right? And I have a lot on my plate. I will be working this part-time job. I do still manage a household where my husband is self-employed, and my husband also has restarted the carnivore diet, and he works best if I can just have food prepped for him. So I've got a meal prep for myself and for him, and that includes putting instructions up in the kitchen if I wasn't able to cook a steak, how to cook a steak in the air fryer from frozen, you know, or ideas if you open the fridge and there's no cooked meat. I need to do that for him. It's helpful to him to do that. That will help him not cheat. then it will help him not snore, and that will help me sleep. So I'm motivated to help him. And so I'll need to get my mornings really organized, and that will help the rest of my day. I also run this YouTube channel and an associated social media account, and I help my two fluttering sons. They're 23 and 20, and I also run a crochet business that takes up many, many hours of my week. I'm a vendor at a weekly market. I sell online. I have social media and a YouTube channel connected to that. And I have a dog. So there's a lot going on that is really motivating me to get organized. And I'd really like to see this as a new season in my life, especially as I will qualify for the senior citizen discount in about 3 weeks. I'd like to hit that running with great joy, great glee, and enter the next phase of my life with some confidence. And I want to say that in these techniques, some of them I'll try and they'll work temporarily, and then maybe they won't work. I get a lot of comments with people with solutions, like the solution. Well, you just need to do this, or you just need to do that. Well, I mean, yeah, I know these things, but it's not always just knowing, and it's not always just deciding. Some of you all saw the decision conversation in my other video where my husband and I talked, and thinking of a decision as something that is a cutting away of some things. And that's a helpful way to think about it. But I've got 55 years of neurological programming going on, and I will, with my full intelligence, knowledge, inspiration, spiritual resources, everything at my feet, still eat a muffin. I mean, so a lot of this is just, you know, when you have a baby and they're growing and then they start sleeping and then they hit sleep regression, or you are potty training your toddler and things are going great, and then they have potty training regression, or as they get into the 3s, they kind of start getting with the program and participating in the family, and then they'll have a behavioral regression, increased temper tantrums. The same thing happens when they're teenagers about every 5 minutes. You finally think, oh, this kid's going to be okay. And then 5 minutes later, who raised you? What is going on? Well, that goes on. That's continued to go on in my own brain in terms of I will learn, I will grow, and then I'll have a regression. Things happen. Does this happen to you? Let me know. Some of you seem like you've had all your problems solved just by being smart. Good for you. That's great. And maybe there's other people like that out there, but I am not like that. And I make these videos also for other people who also deal with regressions similar to sleep training, potty training, behavior, all of that with our kids. Well, maybe we're still growing. And you know what? That's a good thing. I'm glad I'm not done. I'm glad I'm still growing. So here we go. Okay, I'm going to look at my notes here. I made some notes. So the first thing I already do every morning is I do a devotional. I read a little bit of scripture. Actually, I open my Bible app, and usually I'm doing like 2 or 3 Bible reading plans at one time, because one is just isn't enough time for some scripture to soak into my brain. I like to do 2 or 3, and I've been doing that for years actually, but I've made sure to do it every single day in 2024 so far. And here we are, you know, end of the first week of March, and I'm still going strong with that. So what that does for me when I read scripture and then I pray is it reminds me who God is and who I am in relation to God. And for me, that framing is important, not just important, it's critical. I did have somebody comment on another video a couple videos back, is like, well, I'm interested in carnivore until you get to religion. Well, I'm sorry, if you really do not want to hear religious or spiritual talk, then you're on the wrong channel, because it is part of everything I do and it is part of who I am. And I'm reminded of, I don't get a self-esteem boost from my time in devotion and my time in prayer, my time in scripture. I get reminded of the character of God, because I don't really deserve a self-esteem boost a lot of the time, and I don't need one. You know, when Jesus met with the woman at the well, And he told her everything she had been doing wrong, everything she'd done wrong. And he told her that he knew it and he knew her. Her reaction was to run away in joy, proclaiming who Jesus was, because he knew her. And he knew her in all of her flaws. He told her, you got to stop doing this, lady. And you know what? The fact that this guy knew her heart, there was nothing she could hide from him. That filled her with joy. That filled me with joy too. I don't need God to tell me, you're great, Donna. You can go get it today. You can do it. I believe in you. I don't want that kind of a God, and that's not the kind of God that I turn to. I need a God who says, you know what? I know that you struggle with putting things on the throne that don't belong here. You turn to things that won't satisfy your problems. But you know what? I'm down in the mess with you. I sent my son to save you. I'm here for you. I know you. I know all of you. I know all the folds of your heart and your mind, and I made you, and I love you. There is some great comfort in that. I really reject this whole self-esteem stuff, because what if I'm just a terrible person one day? Okay, I should be a better person tomorrow, but my belief in the world and how I operate in it is never based on how fantastic I am or how well I did that day. It is only based on the glorious character of God and who he is to me. So I start with that, because that frames everything. Well, I've been just kind of doing that and then getting up and putting in a load of laundry and feeding the dog. But I need to really spend some more mindful time in that, especially as my days get crazier. Then what I am going to do is spend a few moments kind of after prayer visualizing myself that day and how I want to carry myself into the workplace, into the errands, into my home, into serving my family, my coworkers, my church. Just kind of visualizing, you know, that I want to be slow to respond to frustrations, but quick to respond to people's needs, that I want to have encouraging words on my lips, that if I'm having some struggles, I don't want to go in with a complaining heart, that I want to quiet my mind and go in with an attitude of service, that kind of visualization. And you know what that will do in terms of, sort of, if we're going to get back to carnivore diet and health, that kind of thing, that will make me feel less grabby, make me feel less needy, less like I need something to fulfill my need. I need something to comfort me. If I focus on how I can serve others and quiet my mind and rest in the character of God, my hope and my prayer is that kind of framework for my day will make it less likely that I will turn to things for comfort or celebration, et cetera, that don't really serve that function. One thing that Kelly Hogan talked about was also a daily promise, like making a promise to yourself every day, but a promise that you can keep. Not, I'm going to be a fantastic person all day necessarily. But I think she gave an example of, I'll sit up straight today. I'll sit up straight and I'll breathe. And I thought, well, that's really wonderful. So I might do that. I might kind of have this visualization of myself and let that land on something concrete. Like, you know, as Kelly's example, I will sit up straight today and bear myself with confidence. And I'll just make myself that one little promise that I know that I can keep to myself. And as she said, that kind of builds up credibility. I've heard Amanda with Carnivorous Me also talk about this, and I think she got this, they may have both gotten it from Jordan Peterson, this idea that you need to build up credibility with yourself and build up a level of personal integrity. And did we already talk about affirmations? No, I think that then the daily promise will lead to affirmations. I did have success implementing affirmations about 4 years ago. I don't have a kind of new age or the secret or whatever view of affirmations. I don't think they're magic spells. I don't believe in kind of manifesting in that way. I'm not really a name it and claim it type of believer. But what that does is clarify what it is I really want and what's important. I don't want, I will drive a Volvo. I will drive a Volvo. I don't want that. I want to see in writing what my priority is. And I had 3 affirmations that I wrote out every day 4 years ago. One was that I'd have a successful crochet business. And I just wrote out, I will have a successful crochet business. And I kind of do. My crochet business has grown a lot. And I've got a decent following in my area locally. I have many loyal customers. I'm happy with that. The other was I will fit back into my skinny clothes. Now, I did end up fitting back into all of my skinny clothes. Now I fit into about half of my skinny clothes. So I didn't gain all my weight back, but I gained enough back so that there's some stuff in my closet I can't wear now that I could wear, you know, say a year and a half ago. So it might be time to put that affirmation back on there. But that affirmation did help. It's helped me be committed. The other one was I will live in a bigger house. I want to live in a bigger house, but I don't know if I want to put that back on my affirmation list or not. I don't know if that's the priority that I need. I need these to be meaningful affirmations that I don't view as magic spells. I don't view as law of attraction. I use as a way of aligning my thinking and keeping in mind what God's will is for my life so that I can move forward again with integrity and align those also with this daily promise to myself. So I want to kind of make that that would be like a 30 or 45 minute ritual in my morning. And then I will go out in the front and water the garden, and that will get me some morning sun. It will get me a little bit of grounding and get me some fresh air and some additional quiet. In the meantime, with all of this, my husband is also getting ready for his day. He's working on a book. He is getting up early these days to get some work done on the book. What I've got to kind of do is figure out how to ask him for some focus and some quiet in my morning without making it sound like I don't want to talk to you in the mornings, but I really kind of want to be quiet all the way till I'm getting ready to walk out the door. So, and he feels like, you know, if he feels like my attention is drawn too far elsewhere, he gets a little worried. Are you still going to make me a steak? You still going to do my laundry? He gets a little like, you know, like that, but everything will work out. We'll have to both work together to find this new balance, especially in the mornings. So we'll see how that goes. I'll feed the dog, that kind of thing. I don't know if I'm of the mind to get up early enough to walk the dog before I go to work. Ultimately, that would be the most healthy choice that I could make. But you know, guys, I'm not a morning person. I'm really not a morning person. And I raised 2 kids and I got them to school every morning, but it was a train wreck every morning. I'm just here to be honest. My natural sleeping cycle for me is from about midnight until about 7:30 the next morning. If I'm left alone and can just follow my natural patterns, it's that. But if waking up at 7:30 allows time for me to get up, have my coffee, get dressed, and go to work, but it doesn't allow quite enough time for these other centering activities. So I am going to have to make a little bit of an adjustment there and be better about my going to bed habits in order to make that happen. And I'll also have to kind of look at the must-do tasks for the day, because there's many things related to these other activities that I manage and the house and the job that I can't let things fall off the plate. I'm still in charge of communicating with my husband's clients and processing payments, that kind of a thing. So I still have those, that has to happen. So I've got to put my mind clearly on my day after I've reframed it spiritually in the morning. So we'll see how all of that goes. I will still have to get some exercise and walk the dog, but I have to figure out the best way that I can make sure that happens every day. And I'm not sure I could be a person of integrity and follow through on my plans if I added the dog walk to my already pretty packed mornings. So I want to construct expectations of myself that are most likely to succeed. They'll be a little bit challenging, and that's good, but not like something that's absolutely not realistic for my own rhythms and my own character and my own personality. Let me see what else I have put on here. You know, the rest of my family might have a hard time with this. My 23-year-old son lives about half an hour away. My 20-year-old son has just started a new job. He lives here. He wants to move out soon. He'll have to manage that, so I don't know the status of that. But everybody will have to manage some things on their own without me. If I'm in a meeting at my job, I can't automatically respond to things or come bring something to somebody the way that they've been used to, because I quit my full-time job when my boys were little. They were 1 and 4, and I have been a stay-at-home mom proudly, happily, and really available to everybody ever since. So this will be a little bit of a shift for them. I'm not going full-time. It's just part-time. They'll still have me, and I like supporting my family that way and doing those things. But this will require a little bit of a shift, and I think everybody's going to be a little bit, but wait, are you still the mom? You still going to do this? So we'll see how everybody can balance this. So these are the things that I'm going to be doing. Again, I'm looking at my notes again, and I was just kind of thinking I'm doing carnivore because I've got two two intertwining tracks going on that I try to manage with that. And one of them obviously is health, longevity, mental clarity. I am going to be 55 and I don't want to descend into disease. I'm not on any prescription medications right now except for estrogen, just because of my age and my declining natural estrogen levels. I'm not on anything else. I know that if I ate the standard American diet, I know that I would have arthritis because I can feel my joints complain if I eat something off plan. I would probably, if I believed my doctors about cholesterol, I'd probably be on a statin. I don't know what my blood pressure is. It's always been historically pretty low, so I don't know. I'd probably be on 2 or 3 other additional pharmaceutical prescription medications if I hadn't already sort of mostly been clinging to it, carnivore, at least as a base. Even if I cheat, I've at least got my baseline diet going on. So I, of course, want to support maximal health, maximal vitality, but also carnivore is clarifying, which keto was good for me. Okay, it was okay, but it wasn't clarifying because, as we all know, those keto candy bars, there's a lot of ways, if you're keto, for corporations to monetize that and to make money off of you still feeding you crap. You can get a keto candy bar, but it's still crap. It's still a candy bar, and I'm weak-minded, and I would fall off on that kind of a wagon and not lose any weight and not feel any better. So carnivore is very clarifying in terms of being honest, at least I'll speak about myself, with myself about what's a cheat. There's that gray area of dairy. You know, we've talked about that at other times. I have to keep dairy at a minimum. I have reduced my dairy, but if you've seen things, I've also made a cream sauce, but I've limited my own consumption of those things. Probably be good for me to take a complete break for 30 days at some point, and I will, just not at this moment. But other kinds of cheating, I mean, if it didn't come from an animal, it's not part of my plan right now. And so mentally, am I using this to cope? When I am having stress and want to feel comfort, I do not reach for bacon. I don't reach for steak. I don't reach for any of those things. And that tells me that if I'm having an emotion and I'm reaching for food, that I'm leaning on that food for something it's not supposed to serve. So carnivore is clarifying for me in that way. And so I have these two things going on, the looking to food for comfort or looking to things that can't comfort me to seek comfort. That's spiritual development and also neurological programming in terms, I mean, I've got all kinds of memories. When my sister passed away, I wanted to go get all the things she and I used to go get together when we were in our 20s, all the Starbucks lattes and all of these other things that she and I did together, the treats that we enjoyed together, to feel comfort. Of course, that didn't work. And so being carnivore clarifies for me, and wait a minute, that's not actual food that you're eating and you're expecting something of it that it can't do. So carnivore is really wonderful for people like me in that it achieves both of these tracks at the same time. It helps my body and my mind be healthy. It reduces neurological inflammation, joint inflammation, everything. It helps all of that. And every time I can stay on it for a while, it helps with that neurological reprogramming, that behavior modification, and keeps me more spiritually aligned because I have only one source for comfort. And that is my Creator. And that's the one I need to be turning to when I feel stressed, when I feel angry, when I feel sad. There's only one source of comfort for that. And it is not food. It just isn't food. So that's what I hope to achieve with this and get more clarity. I don't have room in my life when this part-time job starts to go off the rails. I won't feel good. I'll be low energy. I'll be mentally foggy at work. I'll be mentally foggy at home. Things will fall apart really, really fast. So I need to hit this out of the gate running clean. I do expect to fall sometimes. I do expect for some of these strategies to work for a while and then stop working because I'm my biggest deceiver. But I expect to have at least some new neurological programming, new strength behind me, maybe reach a new level. So we'll see how that goes. If you have had a big change in your life patterns, a new job, a life change, something else that has caused you to re-clarify, I'd love to know about that. And did it throw you out of whack? Or was it an opportunity for you to get re-solidified, re-centered, get some more clarity with regard to what your goals and aims are? I would love to know all of that in the comments. So that's it. Check out that Kelly Hogan video, and I will post a Delighted to Meet You video. Let's see, I love Cassie and Larry, so maybe I'll put a link to one of their recent videos in there. They're so great. I just love you guys if you're watching. All right, that's it. So I'm going to track my week. I'll take pictures. I'll do little videos, and I'll do a little vlog update toward the end of the week or maybe beginning of next week to see how it went. And maybe some of this will also help you. I hope you guys have a lovely week. Love you. Bye-bye.